Hi, I'm Sam Aviles, and today we're going to be discussing effective ways to converse with those experiencing grief. Everyone experiences grief differently, so we can follow general guidelines. Remember to be fluid and adaptable in these types of conversations. Section 2, Chapter 14 of the Psychological Aspects of Death and Dying textbook states that those caring for grieving persons must be physically present and emotionally available. This piece of advice should be carried into any conversation with the person going through bereavement. You should never deny those expressing grief the proper environment to express their feelings. An open and honest space will allow better communication between all parties involved. If there was only one aspect of these conversations I could stress, it would be the importance of a listening ear. While you may want to assuage their worries, grief is a natural part of life that shouldn't be shied away from or shielded to. To further explain, allowing the person you're with to cry, vent, or otherwise manifest their grief will help to further the connection and understanding between you and them. Listening is more than just quietly sitting by, though. You must be able to hear the other person and acknowledge their pain without reducing it or offering meaningless or overly simplified advice. There is no bright side. This statement is directly from an article by the New York Times called What to Say and What Not to Say to Someone Who's Grieving. It reflects a component of communicating with someone experiencing bereavement that I think should be touched on. Whatever you do, do not offer false platitudes. Saying that their loved one is in a better place or trying to be overly optimistic is very unhelpful. Their loved one's already dead, and it's meaningless sympathy that you provide will not help them heal. While working at a funeral home, I had come into contact with a woman whose mother's funeral was being prepared for. She had asked me if her mom was really in a freezer, and at the time, I was caught off guard by this line of questioning. I had taken a moment to gather my thoughts and was finally ready to answer her. I simply told her that her mother was in our funeral home's care and that she was currently in a temperature-controlled environment, but no, she was not in a freezer. I was able to answer this question without sugarcoating the situation. I wasn't harsh, but instead compassionate and honest. I could tell that she appreciated my genuine answer. Even though emotions may be at a higher intensity for those going through the grieving process, we shouldn't treat them like children. It's also important to give nonverbal support. While that might sound odd, it's good practice once you know what you're doing. Nonverbal support can include giving eye contact, paying attention without fidgeting, responding with nods, keeping your body positioned in a non-judgmental way, and many other nonverbal acts. These cues are learned better with experience, but mastering them can help you immensely with gaining trust and confidence for those we serve. No one's perfect at communicating, and it is a rocky ride for some, but everyone can apply proper listening and empathetic techniques. If you simply listen without interrupting or judging, the person who's grieving will know the difference. You can talk to somebody in grief and do a successful job as long as you genuinely care and make sure to listen. Thank you for listening to me today, and I hope you have a nice night.